Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for this webinar. What I will do, I will shortly introduce the webinar and the agenda of today. So since 2018, we have been collaborating between Air Liquide and Wakeo. And the webinar is here to highlight Wakeo is supporting Air Liquide in their daily operations, as well as improving customer experience. So I will suggest to introduce ourselves. So my name is William. I'm managing the customer excellence team at Wakeo, and in my team, what we do, we make sure that we have the right alignment between the technical and the business aspect in the pre-sales, and also we grow with the clients in the long term after the contract is signed. Maxime, I will hand over to you. Stage is yours.
Hello everyone, Maxime Lambert. So I work for Air Liquide as Maritime Industrial Pole Director. So my team and myself is supporting Air Liquide Maritime on and its operation on various projects like investment, continuous improvement, procurement, and technical expertise. So I will develop a bit later today what we do at Air Liquide Maritime, and of course how Wakeo is helping us. Nicolas, I'll let you to the floor.
Yes, hello everyone. So I'm Nicolas Dupont. I'm part of Air Liquide IT department, which is called BIS GM&T for Business Information System in the scope of global market and technologies, which does include the maritime part. And in this department, I'm the project management officer, and during the project called the Maritime Customer Portal, I was the IT project manager, and I will talk about this project later during this seminar.
Okay, thank you, Maxime and Nicolas. So let's quickly introduce Wakeo. So Wakeo we are a SaaS platform and providing real-time visibility to our customers. And regarding our customers, we have two profiles. The first one is shippers like you, Air Liquide, in the gas industry. We also work with Uniqlo in the retail industry, clothing, Faurecia in automotive, and other big logos such as Bibron, ADA in the healthcare industry. And on the other hand, we also work with freight forwarders, meaning transport service providers, such as Clasquin, Jeffco, or Qualitaire NC. To all of these clients, what we do, we provide our technology to track all mode of transport, meaning oceans, air, roads, rail, and so on. And we calculate ETA to provide to their customers or also to their operational team the accurate information on time and to avoid and to mitigate the risk. So today we are roughly 50 people at Wakeo, working in Lyon and in Paris, and we will extend this year to Netherlands. And we also collaborate with different partners such as SAP, Microsoft, Akanea, DDS Logistics, and so on, such as TMS, ERP, in order to bring value to their operational system, because they can then leverage data and act proactively and make decisions. Maybe, Maxime, you want to quickly introduce Air Liquide globally and then to make a focus on Air Liquide Maritime?
Yes, so it's a pleasure for me to speak about Air Liquide today before going into details for what we do at Maritime. So Air Liquide is a world leader in gas services and technology for industry and health. That means our key activities are to produce and deliver small molecules to our customers worldwide. Small molecules like oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, biomethane. So we cover a very large scope of activities. As you may know, it is difficult to transport gases because a gas is a very light product. So the natural way to deliver our customer is to be close to them. Habitually, we look at in some region or geographies what are the big customers that could be interested in our products, and we install our facilities next to them. We could draw a pipeline or send a truck. On the contrary, at Air Liquide Maritime, which is a department of roughly 200 persons located in 10 bases, we are connected our customers with global molecules. That's products you cannot necessarily produce them locally. You have to connect this region of customers to a source, which is sometimes at the other part of the world. So it's a bit special for industrial gases, but it happens. It can be the case for helium, which is a global molecule, or last year, more recently, unfortunately, due to COVID crisis, we saw some lack of oxygen in some region. So we had to deliver by the sea hundreds of oxygen containers. Today, here you can see on the picture a typical ship of ISO containers and a typical flow. So we are combining all means of transportation, road, sea, train, transport. So here you have a road transport. We go to a production facility, we fill our container. You have to imagine it's a 20-foot or 40-foot box where inside you have a vacuum insulated jacket to keep the product cold. In fact, what we do, we liquefy our gases at very low temperature, minus 200, minus 270 degrees C, to have the as dense as possible product, to put as many kilos as we can in a container to transport it. Of course, as the temperature is cold, you have to imagine that the temperature will increase through the transport, and so the pressure. So we have really a time limit. It's a race against the clock, meaning that after 40 days, 50 days, 80 days, in some cases, it depends on the product and the filling conditions, we will lose the product. Pressure will increase. You have a safety valve in the container, and it starts to blow gases. So it's quite impressive the first time you see that. So we are in a very similar situation than people transporting food product. We need to deliver customers before a due date. And after this due date, we have big issues, like safety event I mentioned. And of course, it's an economic losses. If you order 10 tons of oxygen, you expect to receive these 10 tons of oxygen and not receiving 2 or 3 tons. So we are really focusing on the time when the ship will arrive and will deliver our customer. That's something very specific, I guess. The second thing I want to highlight is these famous containers for cryogenics are highly specified. We own them, most of them. So it's a special business for shipping lines. We are speaking about hundreds of shipments a year, if not thousands, but it's still a bit small for international big shipping lines, so they don't necessarily take too much attention to our famous containers. So we are really concerned about where they are, in which condition, that they are not lost, and we keep always an eye on them. To deliver our hundreds of customers worldwide, we need to have a reliable network of partners. So it can be road transport, sea transport, shipping lines, sea freight agents, custom brokers. So we have a lot of partners, like everyone in the logistics activities. And that's really a challenge for us to combine everyone together, not lose our containers, and keep always an eye on them to deliver on time our customers.
And Maxime, when we were preparing this webinar, what you highlighted, it's nowadays it's very complicated regarding the transit time reliability that you have on the sea freight industry. And you highlight one case from Hama to Shanghai, what is one of your routes. You said in Q1 of 2021 you were expecting like roughly 27 days in terms of average transit time, and now is coming from 27th day in Q1 to 33 days in average in Q4 of 2021. And I'm only talking about the sea freight. And if you had pre or post carriage, as you described just previously, you are roughly 40 days. So for sure, you need to make sure that when you will ship with this new transport plan, with this new standard, it's always in the same timeline, that you are not losing products. It's really important, I think. And the data coming from Wakeo is helping you with all the analytics that we can provide, and we will describe later on how it's working. But that's something that you are working on it, I mean, in terms of flow re-engineering.
Yes, that's what we have to encounter or cope with the maritime industry is you make all your plans. You identify, for example, your Shanghai customer. You have selected your shipping line, and from one day to another, the plans completely change. The route is not existing anymore, or it's taking 1 week more. And that makes for us the trip not possible anymore, and we have to rethink our supply chain. So that's typically the situations we see every month, every week with the maritime industry.
Yeah, and for sure, when you deal with over 20 shipping lines, with freight forwarders and so on, it's a complex network, as you describe it. And you have to consolidate everything in one single desk. And for sure, Nicolas will explain how it works now at Air Liquide for both operational and customers. Okay, so let's introduce quickly what we do at Wakeo. Thank you, Maxime, for this short introduction. So basically at Wakeo, we have developed different features, from the booking, then to the analytics part. So for the booking, as you may know, but looking at our clients' portfolio, we discover that only 1 out of 10 are equipped with TMS or systems that can book from them to the freight forwarders. And so they are dealing, most of the time, 90% of the case, they are dealing with emails, phone calls to do a transport request, to send transport requests from shippers to freight forwarders. And it's such a nightmare, to be honest. So this is why we digitalize now this communication between shippers and freight forwarders, and Wakeo is consolidating all transport orders in one single platform, and then doing the middleware with the freight forwarders to place booking and to receive also a booking confirmation, and then switch from the booking to the tracking. So tracking, as I said, when I introduced quickly Wakeo in the first slide of this session, we are a real-time multimodal platform. So we do track sea, air, road, and we will come to the rail later on. For sure, the advantage of having Wakeo is to consolidate all transport orders in one single platform, whatever the different shipping lines, different stakeholders. The idea is to have everything is one platform. And when we integrate the data, we integrate the transport plan from the shippers. And so we always assess the deviation against the standard, the ones that has been requested, and the service levels that has been committed with the clients. For sure, we push information through our platform, through email notification, and also through API. And Nicolas, you will explain how you took advantage of this API connectivity to connect with your Maritime portal. Indeed, in early 2021, we saw that a lot of concern were raising regarding the CO2 impact. Supply chain must be now much more greener. Transport is part of this. And so we are tracking the shipments, we are in a better position to assess the CO2 equivalent in terms of transport emission. This is why we launched this new feature early in 2021. And for sure, Maxime, you will highlight how you use this kind of data in your daily decisions or for your tenders with clients. But we are compliant with the GILEC and European norm in order to calculate for the multimodal transport all the CO2 and other gases such as SOx and NOx. And then indeed, as we are dealing with millions of data, we provide to our customers KPI to assess their transport performance, from volumes breakdown, and then coming back to the transit time evolution over the time period, as I explained, with the data coming from Wakeo. Now Air Liquide can see that the transit time from Shanghai to Hamad is not the same that has been agreed with the freight forwarders and the shipping line in Q1 2021, and so he has a better access to this data, and when the customer is coming back to him, he can provide a new transit time, and that can avoid churning some clients when they expect the good to be received on time. And for sure, indeed, we also calculate and assess the detention and demurrage in order to save money for our clients. Roughly between 20 and 40% of the demurrage and detention can be saved with Wakeo data. So the idea behind is to be data driven and to be smarter, to collect the data in Wakeo and to take smarter decisions when you need to do some decisions. So how it's working? So Wakeo is, as I explained, a connected platform. If I take the business case of Air Liquide, so today we are collecting from Air Liquide the data that we need to be tracked. I mean, the container number, the truck license plate when we are talking about the roads, the different carriers, and so on. So we collect this information in our portal. We enter this information in Wakeo, in our platform, and then to provide dynamic ETA, to provide real-time track and trace, we are collecting back data from shipping lines and VOCC. We are roughly connected with 97% of the market share in the sea, and we are the first leader worldwide to do NVOCC connectivity in order to collect the information from this kind of consolidators. We do also collect data from airlines, over 91% of the air market coverage. And all of this data can help us to know, okay, what is the latest status of the, for example, ocean freight shipment? Okay, has been gated in at Le Havre, for example, and it will be loaded in, I don't know, let's say CMA CGM Jacques Sardet, for example. And with the external data that we collect to challenge the information that we are collecting from different stakeholders, such as shipping lines and VOCC, we are able to drive insights, valuable insight, to provide calculated ETA with the algorithms that we develop, for example, corridoring, geofencing, and so on. We are able to see, okay, for example, this shipment, this vessel should be near to Mexico and is still near to Brazil. And regarding the transport plan and the schedule of the vessel and the latest position speed of the vessel will have like 3 or 4 days of delays. And this information we push back to our clients, and we push back also to the clients of our clients in order to provide accurate information. Maybe, Maxime, you want to tell a bit more about some background about our collaboration and what we implemented together with the team of Air Liquide, and then to explain a bit more about what are the different advantages.
Yes, thank you, William. Since 2018, we have put in place, in fact, what William just presented now. So we started the work together in 2018 by a basic question: where are our containers? When they will be delivered to our customers? So at that time, we were really in a gray blur area. We were really asking ourselves, where are our containers? What is the ETA? What happened when you do some logistics operation? You are really focusing on your day-to-day activities, and sometimes you forget about the shipment you shipped last week or 2 weeks ago, and then you get some issues, and that's the customer who knows it before you. So that was really the situation we wanted to avoid. And thanks to Wakeo data, alerts, and analytics, we are now better equipped to track our shipments. I will develop a bit more later on how it also assess our transport performances in terms of KPIs, timeline, financially speaking. And more recently, as William mentioned, we wanted to tackle the topics of transport emissions, and we'll see a bit later that Wakeyo is well positioned to track it and to support you on that topics. Of course, with Wakeyo, we had to also think about where is Wakeyo located compared to other IT tools, and Wakeyo played a big role in the new reshaping of our IT infrastructure, and Nicolas will develop it today.
Yeah, what you said at the beginning of our collaboration, and I think this is the case for maybe some of the people who attend today the meeting. It's today when you are dealing with thousands of shipments, it's very tough to deal with Excel sheets, which is always the case if you are not equipped with VZT platform as Wakeyo is doing today. So you need to go one by one to the different websites of the carriers. You need to check what is the latest status, and you do not know if the status that has been shared through the website is the right one, and you need to go and then to compare where the vessel is on the sea and so on. So today, what we bring at Wakeyo is what I described. It's automated. So Air Liquide is pushing the data to us for Air Liquide is over 20 shipping lines, over 5 freight forwarders. We do both road and sea tracking. So they are pushing everything to us. And then they have only one platform to get all the information. And we push alerts because, as I described it, when you deal with thousands of shipments, it's really tough to make sure that the ones that you are selecting right now is the one with delays. So what you will do 2 or 3 days before the arrival, you will go to the website and check one by one the information. But at the end, you discover that you have 15 days, 20 days of delays, for example. Today, for your information, we reach in end of 2021, for 70% of the case, 70% of the shipments are being delayed with at least an average of 9 days. So when you discover 3 days prior the arrival that you have at least 9 days of delays, I think when you come back to the customers and you say, okay, sorry, I will be delayed, the customer will say, okay, but it's the last time that I deal with you guys. So it's really important, and the technologies that we develop at Wakeyo help us to put information with a lot of anticipation, and this is the way that you move from reactive to proactive.
So indeed, we get, thanks to this alert, we keep always an eye on that, and customer and ourselves are informed at the same time, and that's really key. I was mentioning a bit earlier, I want really we avoid the situation when the customer knows before us because the morning he got the reflex to go on the website from the shipping line and discover that the ETA is not the same than what he received from our email from our logistic people. So that's really where Wakeyo is helping us to be proactive and not reactive. So it also avoid, in addition to inform our customer, it avoids our emergency situations. We discussed a bit today of venting product. So you have to imagine a release of cryogenic cloud on board on the ship or on the quayside. That's situations which are creating safety issues and taking us a lot of time. So how we avoid that when we know it, we could, for example, inform people on the ship in advance. We could send someone to the port to go to the container, manipulate some valves. And that's for us a gain of time and a better control of the situation. When we say about more agile supply chain, the fact that we are able to look at the past and see really what is the timeline. Is this shipping line respecting it in average? Is this a reliable route? Allows us to better plan, to better forecast our operations. We could take into account, for example, thanks to Wakeo, we know that this shipping line is in average 5 days late. So we could include it into our planning and not making unrealistic plans. That's for us a key advantage when we review our plannings or deliveries. We have also automatic data field, so you don't need someone all the time to look at what happened last week when really the ship arrived to that port, and then you save time. You don't pay someone to do a useless job when it can be filled automatically. So for us, it's key. When we review our logistics, we are also able to track our cost through the Wakeo offer by comparing our shipping line one versus one. So all in between the reactivity to proactivity, plus the fact that we are able to better control our supply chain, of course, we are more efficient. We lose less product, and the key thing is we are able with our containers to deliver more gases, to do more deliveries. So it has an impact on the product we have in inventory, the number of assets we use. So for us, it has a huge benefit impact.
Yeah, and Maxime, you said that today it's very specific regarding the business case that you have, but I think from my perspective, it is not very specific. The only specificity that you have is you own the containers. But for example, if I take the automotive or retail industry, if I have a zoom to the retail industry, for sure, when you ship goods, it's aligned with the merchandising plan. So if you expect to receive the goods, I don't know, the week 15, because you know that regarding the merchandising plan, these products need to be sold at this time period. And if the shipments will have like 3 weeks delays, or I don't know, let's say 9 days delays at average and maximum 3 weeks delays, you will lose money, because at the end, it's not you are not matching the merchandising plan. And if you deliver later on the for example the shirt and so on, you can miss some opportunity in terms of being sold. On the other hand, if I talk to the automotive industry as well, I know some of our clients are working with 3, 4, or 5 days of buffer of stock. So it's the same situation. If you stop manufacturing, it will cost a lot of money. It's thousands of euros per minute in the automotive industry. And it's the same for you. If the container is spending more time on the sea and is not expected, for sure, and it's the pressure is higher in the tank, you have to release the gases, and you will lose thousands of euros as well. And as you highlighted, regarding the update planning, all the transit time is evolving over the time period. Here, I don't know if you can see it, but Wakeyo is tracking for all single routes from point A to point B. What is the different evolution in terms of transit time? So you can see now that, okay, this transit time is evolving over the time period, and you have to take it into the new dates that you can provide to your customers. And this is really important, because if before the customer is booking with you, you already indicate that you will have 5 or 10 days regarding the expected transit time, it's not the same when you indicate 3 or 4 days late before the arrival that you will have some delays. So it's very changing the way that you deal with the customers, and this data can be shared. And I think it's a good transition between this slide and the improvement of the customer experience.
Yeah, thank you, William. So as Maxime said, so one of the most important challenge in the maritime was really to give to our customer a better experience, and also to share a maximum of data to our customers. So we have decided 2 years ago to build and create a new project, which is called the Maritime Customer Portal. So we have worked with the Maritime and the IT teams of Air Liquide to build a new portal. And the main objective of this portal was really to have a single source of truth of our data for our logisticians, the maritime logisticians, and our clients. And also to avoid all the exchange between the operations and the clients. Before this project, all the data were really splitted into several IT systems and was not easy to provide that to our clients. So this portal was really the opportunity to centralize the data and display that to our customers. So this project has been conducted into an agile methodology and based on a modular architecture in order to be to modify this portal very easily and add new features, because during this project what was very important was to integrate new features very quickly and give that to the client and check if it's really relevant for them and add new features in the future. And so during this one of the main challenge was really to consolidate the data coming from the different Air Liquide IT systems and also from our providers. And we have been during this project supported by Wakeo to use their standard API. So we mostly use web APIs, especially the one of Wakeo's, to integrate their data, the ETA, ATA, and all the data of geo tracking into our system. So we have built a kind of data structure in order to consolidate all those data so that we were able to display that to our customers.
And Nicolas,
yeah.
Nicolas, sorry to interrupt. So today, what you explain is you have different tool, TMS, ERP, and all this data is pushing the information to the customer portal. And your providers, as Wakeo is one of your providers for visibility and CO2 emission, it's providing the same information to this portal. And so today, can you please explain what are the different information that the customer can see, and maybe you can roughly describe what we see on the screen right now on the right side of my screen, because clients, your internal clients and your external clients have all access to the same information nowadays, right?
Yes, for sure. So we have built a kind of data structure, so to consolidate all the data coming from the different IT systems and providers. So as you can see on the screenshot here on this slide, so we have a single view of our shipments. So the customers and the operation are able to see all the dates and the planned dates, estimated date of departure and arrival, and they can see on a map also the tracking of their containers. So it's really important for them to have this kind of data. And also we have some additional data as the pressure of the containers and the level of product, which is very important for them and also for our operators, because as Maxime said, it's important for them to know if the container is in a good state and the product is still here and is not going out of the container. So it's very important to have this kind of tracking, and now we have that into a single consolidated data structure and are able to display that to our customers.
And you start doing some surveys as well. You told me that when we were preparing this webinar, because now it's key to assess what we call sometimes the NPS, Net Promoter Score, the way that the people will recommend you. So it's B2B business, but it's the same than with the B2C market. But today you are getting relevant and valuable feedback with highest rates that you never expect in the past, right?
Yes. So this customer portal is now live since May 21. And we have deployed that step after step, so customer after customer. So we started with internal customers, and now we have deployed that also for external customers. And we are now able to have some feedback from our customers, and they are very happy of having this all those information centralized into one single view. And they are not obliged to call our operators each time to have any information. So it's very efficient for them. So you have some samples of sentence that we get in the customer satisfaction survey. So they said that it's a centralized information, simplify communications, earlier input of release dates. So it's now we can say it's very efficient for our customers. And also for our internal logisticians, we can say now that they save 20% of their time because they are not obliged to give too much information to our customers and not calling them to say when the container will arrive on site.
So you are saving times, and this time you can do some different actions, and for sure that can save. This is what you assess 20% in terms of productivity. And what you said, I think it's really important if some of the attendees are IT manager, project manager, and so on, is because as we explained, we start our collaboration in 2018, and the customer portal went live in 2021. And so all the IT architecture moved with our collaboration. At the beginning of our collaboration, Wakeyo was used as a standalone platform. So that means both operations and clients had access to our portal. I think the setup phase, we tried to drive insight last time, Maxime, but it was like 4 or 6 weeks, the setup phase between you and Wakeyo. So from that time period, all users, all customers had access to Wakeyo. And in parallel, Air Liquide was working on different projects and the way to consolidate everything in one single platform and from different business units in Air Liquide Maritime. And as we are working with API, Air Liquide was able to do this approach in an agile way, as you explained, Nicolas, because you were setting up your customer portal. Wakeyo was still delivering the information in a standalone way, and then Wakeyo was plugged to your customer portal to deliver all the value to a wider network of stakeholders such as clients and operational team. And for sure, in the future, you can provide information directly to carriers or to any stakeholders who are in charge of post or pre-carriage, for example.
Yes, it was very important that Wakeyo was part of this this project, and we interact very closely with you, Wakeyo, also to integrate new features because you were also providing new features during the time of this project, and also in the future we start to integrate new things that you are providing. So we will continue this way of collaborate for sure.
And it's a good transition for Maxime to explain what we did last year with the transport emission, as is now a key topic for a lot of companies, and for sure it's a central topic for Air Liquide now.
Yes, so exactly, William. We have the ambition as Air Liquide to be carbon neutral by 2050 with a sharp decrease of our emission, direct emissions in the next years. On our perimeter, so Air Liquide Maritime, in fact, we rely a lot of our partners or shipping lines, and here today we speak about transport. So, of course, it is key for us to assess how much CO2 and how much CO2 we emit and how much CO2 our partners emit. So that's scope 3 emission for the ones who know the topic. So we started this questioning by looking on the market how we could count each trip, what is the CO2 emission per trip. And at the same time, Wakeyo was developing their solution, and it became natural for us to use Wakeyo service, as Wakeyo has already all the data to calculate it. The other alternative is to take all your trips and send them to someone and calculate it. But that for us, that was adding an extra provider in the loop, whereas Wakeyo has already the data and able, with the API described by Nicolas, to send it back to us. So per trip, we are able to have a CO2 value depending on the shipment, the shipping line, the container weight. So for us, it's key to have it. We can have it live per trip, per customer at the end of the year. So thanks to it, we expect to better follow these emissions and drive our decisions. It could be business decision. Do we prefer to use this facility in that region and crossing the world to deliver this customer? or are preferring a closed production facility but delivered by road? And you know habitually that road transport emits more CO2 per ton kilometer than sea transport. So that's for us some business decisions we have to do every month, every week. The other element that is key for us is that we can challenge the shipping lines and carriers themselves. What are the ones providing better CO2 impact to the others? So, and we expect these topics to be more and more present in our next decisions coming over the next months and years. So that's how we plan to do it, and that we have started it from now half a year, more or less, and it's already part of our ID tools.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Maxime and Nicolas for being with me today. Let's before the Q&A session, let's sum up what has been discussed so far. So today, Wakeo Technology is collaborating with Air Liquide on mainly mitigating and anticipating the risk. As explained by Maxime, the idea is to being alerted, not the days that it should arrive to the port, but to be alerted 8, 10, 15 days earlier with highest accuracy. That's I think the main idea if you want to anticipate the risk. And for sure that can help you save in-transit inventories, because with the data that we can provide to Air Liquide today, you can better understand what is the new standard in terms of transit time, and you can then update or re-engineer the transport plan. I talk about ETA accuracy and KPI, and all of this information can also help you to anticipate upstream or downstream activities. For example, if I focus on upstream or downstream, let's say downstream, that help you to make sure that the truckers will be on time at the port when the shipment will arrive, to avoid being staying too much in terms of demurrage. And all of this technology, the tracking, the data being consolidating in one single platform, helps to improve the productivity. As I said, when you are dealing with thousands of shipments like Air Liquide is doing today, and with more than 20 carriers only for the ocean freight, it's much more for the road freight when what we are doing with you today. It's such a nightmare to go one by one to any external platform. So everything is consolidating, and you're being notified, and all the notifications that we push is fully customized. So that means if you are only interested to being alerted, I don't know, when it's ETA, it's over 3 days, you can set it up in the system and be notified the right moment. And for sure, with the data that we can provide to Air Liquide, you can perform better and smarter in terms of NPS score. Today, it's the choice of Air Liquide, and I think it's becoming now a standard for all of our customers to be really proactive in providing information to the clients. And the client is not expecting you to provide the information. He wants to go to a website, as you are doing in B2C markets, to get the latest status of your shipments. They want to avoid calling you. They want to avoid emailing you to know where is my shipment. They, as we are doing in the B2C market, they want to go in your website. And for sure that trains them the brand image as well, the Air Liquide group image, because like this you can provide one single desk to have everything being unified. So to sum up about Wakeo, we are doing multimodal tracking. We do also CO2 emissions calculation, and we are fully interoperable with all IT systems, ERP, TMS, middlewares, customer portal, and so on. And any questions so far from the people who are attending? I saw that we have one question of one attendees. The customer portal is an Air Liquide portal fed by Wakeo, right? Yeah, maybe Nicolas, you can further comment, but the quickest way to answer is yes. I will let you detail.
Yes, for sure. So Wakeo is one of the provider we have to display the data in the customer portal. So when using the API with Wakeo, so we are using the standard API of Wakeo, and sometimes we are pushing data to let them know about the shipment, about some information, and they push to us some data also through APIs to retrieve in real time the information, especially on the estimated time of arrival and also the actual time as well, and also the localization of the ships. So for sure, so we retrieve data from several providers, including Wakeo, in order to display that in the customer portal.
Okay. Thanks, Nicolas, for further detailing this question. One question from attendees: compared to a TMS, what are the key differentiators between a TNT solution like Wakeo and the TMS? So maybe I will take this one. So yeah, today, for sure, TMS are very focusing on operational aspects. I mean, in the TMS, you are collecting purchase sales orders and bundling them into a unified transport plan to do, I don't know, let's say point A to point B. And then forwarding this information to your freight forwarders if you are dealing with freight forwarders, or directly to airlines, shipping lines, truckers, and so on. And this is the main job of the TMS. Today, what we do at Wakeo is we are the expert in the data. That means we do not use one source of information to provide tracking information, as sometimes the TMS are doing. We collect a lot of information, highest data, carriers information. We are our own algorithm, and we push information with on a calculated mode. And for sure, we are not competitors with TMS, indeed, as we are partnering with them, because Wakeo, in all the business cases that we have today, we are pushing back the data in the TMS. You didn't explain it, Nicolas, today, but today we're also pushing back the information in the customer portal to deliver value to the customers and internal team, but also pushing back the information to the different ERP TMS, because it's this operational way to deal with the day-to-day jobs for the operations. It's two different jobs, to be honest. Okay, let's take another question. How many people have been working on this project from Wakeo and from Air Liquide? How long? So I will mainly comment for Wakeo, but maybe Nicolas, you want to introduce?
Yes, so the project was around 1 year, and we have worked, especially at the beginning, on the user experience. So we have done some mock-ups and so on to ensure that the customer was on the good ergonomy, we can say. So we have worked with some key users in Maritime. So there were 4 key users and 1 business project manager. And in IT side, there was 1 IT project manager and 4 developers. And so it took 1 year, around 1 year, to have the first version of the current version of the customer portal. But we are also working to put some new features and enhancements in the portal.
Yeah. And on Wakeo side, API are standards for us. And we always have like a project manager on Wakeo side involved with the project manager on Air Liquide side, and then a technical solution engineer to make sure that everything is well understood, to drive workshops with Air Liquide to make sure that they well understand the API, how it works, how you will deal with it in the near future. To explain again also some limits, some advantages, and also to run some tests in a dedicated environment before going live. At Wakeyo, a normal project, I mean, because if we come back to 2018, that's for us the first stage. It's always 4 to 6 weeks, depending of the number of connectivities that we have to do to collect the data, to push back the information. For sure, when Nicolas indicated 1 year, it's behind this is not only Wakeo, is all the IT architectures that you want to build to connect with other systems, to display the UI UX that you want to do with the customers. So it takes more time for sure. But I mean, for the API to be connected, what we see with different clients is between 4 to 6 weeks also. Maybe I will take another questions. I have some, and maybe we be the one of the last one before we close the webinar. How long did it take to perceive the first return on investment? Maybe it's much more a question for you, Maxime, and Nicolas, before I further comment.
Yeah, it's I would say it's instantaneous. At the moment you put you connect and you make it live. I think it was it pays for itself. I mean, it was quite quick. It was quick, as William mentioned, to go live for the very first step, the track and trace. After a few weeks, people were get used to it, and the approach was a light approach. It was very easy to kick off the collaboration. So the return of investments was a matter of few months. You will contact. I mean, I think if you want to know more about how to work with Wakeo, you will contact William. But it was easy to start up. And on our side, when we put in place this customer portal, of course, we were targeting more our ambition for the next 2, 3, 4 years, where we want to be in terms of IT architecture, relationship with the TMS, ERP, things like that. So it was more a stronger approach that Wakeo participated in to build a new architecture for the next 2 or 3 years.
Nicolas, do you want to say something?
I think Maxime said everything, but as you said, William, the part of the connection with you, Wakeo, was very short because the customer portal is a big project. You have to create the portal and connect to other providers also to provide the other data. So it's a big project, yeah. Not only on Wakeo part.
And maybe to complete, to add more comments on this, and to give and provide maybe some tips when you want to assess, I think, return on investment with Wakeo or visibility platform. This is what my team is doing with all of customers. You always have different aspects, and it really depends of your challenges. For example, I was talking with one of our customers last week, and this main focus is the detention and demurrage, and it's really key for him because it's paying a lot, over 1 million euro every year for demurrage and detention. And with our technology, for sure, we can help them to drive savings because we have done proper studies, assessment with our customers. Between 20 and 40% can be saved. So that means at the early stage, the payback is 200K at least. That pop up to my mind, this example. For sure, anticipation, as has been explained by Maxime, when you are being informed about 8 to 10, 15 days in advance that the shipment will arrive with 8 days with delays, and the accuracy is 100%, you can better plan. So that means that you can better avoid any extra fees regarding the truckers that should be at the port to the wrong date, to the customers that will, and you will meet some business opportunity with them and so on. So that's something that you have to consider when you build a business case and return of investment. And productivity, as has been highlighted by Air Liquide, is also key because today, which is really good, the business at Air Liquide is growing, and you can treat 20% more volumes now with this new technology. So we cannot answer to all the questions. Sorry for that. I saw a lot of other questions, but for sure, if you are also interested in being in touch with us and further detail some business case or some ideas, you can request a demo through the URL that I'm showing right now. You can also contact directly Wakeyo at hello@wakeo.co, and for sure you can follow up on LinkedIn. It was a great pleasure, Maxime and Nicolas, for having you as the speakers for this webinar. We are working together for quite a while now, so it's clearly highlights what has been achieved with all of the team, because it's not only Maxime and Nicolas behind, but we can say Vincent, Bastian, any other, Sebastian, and so on, who have been working with us to achieve these nice milestones. And part of Wakeyo team, Loïc, Julien, Maïté, and so on. So it's a great achievement, and for sure, as Maxime and Nicolas said, we'll keep moving as we have a very ambitious product roadmap this year with new features such as the trusted route, where we can benchmark services, CO2 impact, and so on. So please stay tuned and do not hesitate to contact us. And it was again a great pleasure to have you on board today.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Maxime.